yesterday, if you're watching, I don't know. I don't know when the YouTube version of this is going up in relation to when the last video I made about this happened. But apparently, Warner Bros. Discovery saves gamers from Cartoon Network. Now, the last news I saw about this was where, what was the name of them damn games? Damn, what the fuck is with the zoom on this website? But the last thing I saw about this was basically a couple WB Cartoon Network made games were taken down and delisted. Basically, they were taken from digital stores. A couple of them games was bangers. You can no longer download them or play them. Now look, I'm not trying to suggest anything crazy. But I'm saying if you want to get the goods, you gotta go through a couple hoops. What kind of hoops? That's all I'm saying. But apparently, according to rolling out website I never heard of, Warner Brothers Discovery has saved us gamers from Cartoon Network. And I want to see what the flying fuck they're talking about. Because in a move that has baffled many and left others scratching their heads, Warner Bros. Discovery has initiated what industry insiders are calling the Great Digital Purge through an ambitious and highly debated decision. The company has begun delisting several beloved Cartoon Network titles from digital platforms. While it may seem like a standard business practice, this bold move has created uproar among fans and experts alike, raising questions about the future of digital entertainment, ownership, and access to content. This is a factual because you could go look at my other video. There's a clip where a couple times on stream I pointed it out that if you go to, actually, let me do it again because I love pointing this out. So here's a trick, y'all. Just in case you don't understand what's going on with this whole situation. Just in case you don't understand what's going on with this whole situation with WB and why it's so crazy that they're delisting the shows that they're delisting, let me show you something. If I type in Cartoon Network.com, it goes to HBOMax.com, right? Give it a second, it loads up. Boom. What is one of the first 3 shows you see up here? The Amazing World of Gumball. Okay, that's cool. So that means Cartoon Network's website doesn't exist anymore. But if I want to watch The Amazing World of Gumball on HBO Max, I can. So let's look up Gumball HBO Max. Look, it's a purple link. That means I visited before. Clearly, that means I can watch it if I want to, right? Because if you look in their advertising right here, it shows The Amazing World of Gumball. That means if I have HBO Max and I wanted to watch it, I could, right? Wrong. One of the shows they use to advertise a portion of their website, can't even watch it on their website. Title isn't available to watch in your country. Spoiler alert, if you use a VPN to switch your country, you're still not going to be able to see it. That was me clip farming, but in a good way. Close window. So now that y'all have that understanding and I have that clip to post later, Cartoon Network has been removing a lot of their, not Cartoon Network, Warner Bros. Has been purging a lot of their top tier stuff. And if you don't know, if let's say you're not from America or whatever, and you don't understand how crazy it is that they're removing The Amazing World of Gumball, let me put it like this. Imagine if you as a cartoon station have 30 shows, right? Let's say you have 30 shows in your catalog and 5 of those shows make more money than everything else in the 30 put together, right? You take 3 of those top 5 shows off your streaming service. The rest of the 30, whether they're there or not, it really doesn't matter. They don't make as much money as this top 5 put together. But you take 3 of your top 5 and just take it off your platform. And you're in a crisis where you need money. Your company's going fucking broke. You're putting up bullshit numbers, dropping shitty games like Multiverses. That game, you can't even play the game without buying characters, and then when you buy the characters, you still can barely play the game, because if you want to play those characters you purchased in the story mode, oh, guess what? You gotta purchase gems. So like, they've been dropping miss after miss, and then let's not even talk about the Suicide Squad game, Killer Justice League. Everybody hated that game, rightfully so, because it fucking sucked. Skull and Bones would have got canceled if it wasn't for the fact that it was funded by the Singaporean government. Avatar, that game fucking belly flopped onto the earth. Because as I mentioned in my last stream, long story short, no, not Avatar as in fire, earth, water, air. A long time ago, no. Blue people Avatar. They, for some reason, thought making a game about a movie where their most impactful, their biggest impact left on culture is whenever you mention them, people say blue people or Aang. That's Avatar's impact. That movie made billions of dollars, and I've always found it weird that their impact is whenever you talk about them, the first thing that is always said is, are you talking about blue people or The Last Airbender? They thought it would be a good idea to make a game based on that, and the people that did like it didn't buy it. Wasn't a profitable game. So, and there's more stuff too in there, like Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, which was a genuinely good game, but they sent that game out to die. They sent it on a suicide mission. So it's like they dropped bangers this year and they dropped misses this year, but even their bangers missed because they sent them out to die. But let's talk about, according to this article, the Vanishing Act. The delisting saga began with a quiet yet impactful move. Fan favorite titles such as Adventure Time, Finn and Jake's Epic Quest, which is a part of Adventure Time, and Steven Universe Save the Light were suddenly all pulled from digital storefronts. This announcement came with little fanfare, and it was quickly noticed by Steam users. Basically, you can't play the game no fucking more. The choice to delist these popular games based on their top 5 popular highest selling IPs has left many consumers in disbelief and awe as to how such a large billion-dollar corporation is afraid of making money. Gaining as both franchises have been critical and commercial successes, gaining devoted fan bases over the years in an era where nostalgic content reigns supreme. That's another thing. A lot of these companies are preying on nostalgia, and a few things you do have that can prey on that nostalgia that make money, you take them down. I don't get it, bro. I don't get it. This shit has to be the highest form of tax evasion ever seen. The decision to remove these titles from especially considering that fans were under the assumption that these games would be accessible indefinitely. Yeah, that's another thing that's like a bigger conversation in the gaming world. So tell your friends, stop buying games digitally. You don't have to go to GameStop. Even if you want to go order it off Amazon, buy your games physically. Even if they take away the ability to update this game and put all the new levels in it, I still have the main game. Okay? Now, certain larger games, which people, here come all the dumbass and actually, niggas in the comment talking about games like Call of Duty. Well, actually, with games like Call of Duty is too big to be on a disc. So, when you get Call of Duty, you're not actually getting a game on disc. It's like, okay, bro, cool. In 10 years, people will want to play Call of Duty, but they won't have beloved memories with it like an Astrobot. Mark my words. That's number one. Even though that's one of the better Call of Duties, still. Survivors of the digital apocalypse. While Warner Bros. Discovery Purge has left some titles to fade into digital oblivion, a few survivors remain. For how long, bro? For how fucking long? Cartoon Network, Journeys, VR, and Monsters Ate My Birthday Cake have somehow... What the fuck is this? So this is the game they left up? A fucking VR game that ain't nobody trying to play. Never heard of this shit a day in my life. What the fuck is this game? What the hell is this? And Monsters Ate My Birthday Cake? The fuck is that? I I to this day, as a grown-ass adult, still watch Cartoon Network, both Adult Swim and their daytime stuff every once in a while. I have never heard of this cartoon, Monsters Ate My Birthday Cake. I've somehow managed to avoid the dreaded delisting process, at least for now. These titles stand as lone survivors in a landscape that has otherwise seen the exposure. They honestly probably didn't delist the shits because they make no money and everybody forgot them bitches existed. What I think they're trying to do is they're trying to bring back the era of the Disney Vault. For those of you who are a little bit on the younger side and not familiar with what the Disney Vault is, what Disney used to do, because remember, back before we were born, or when we were babies, you couldn't watch something if you didn't have the disc, if you didn't have the VHS, if you didn't have the laser disc, if you didn't have the DVD, whatever variant of physical media it was at whatever time period. If you didn't have it physically, if you didn't own the movie physically, you couldn't watch it unless you paid to go see it at a theater whenever the theater had the movie, right? So what Disney would do is they would release their movie on disc for about 2-3 months. You go in the stores, you rush, you buy it, and because it's in the stores, you may get a good 6 months of being able to get that disc, maybe a year if you were really lucky. Then what Disney would do is they would stop producing disc, they would pack it up, and say, hey, stop producing, let's say, The Lion King. And for 5-6 years, they don't print new CDs or DVDs of The Lion King. So if you want to get The Lion King, you either have to get really lucky or you have to bootleg it. And this is pre-2000, this is pre-2010s bootlegging. 2010s bootlegging, you type a link into the internet, you get about 1 million movies you can watch on demand instantly. In the early 2000s, most people didn't have internet. So bootlegging was way different. I don't want to necessarily say harder, but it was way different. The average person did not have the equipment good enough to bootleg movies on their own. That's why they had to go to specific people who bootleg movies. That's why bootleggers was a more common job, because they would go to people who bootleg the movies, buy a bunch of CDs, burn it on a disc or download it off a server and then go distribute it. Okay, it was much harder to get access to movies and stuff like that back then. So the Disney Vault was when, like I said, they would produce the movie, put it out in stores for about 6 months. For maybe a year, you have access. Because remember, sometimes stuff sits on the shelf in a store. Even if it's a Disney film, might be one in the back that somebody forgot about that got a little bit of dust on it. Something. You might get lucky. That's why I said if you get lucky. Maybe a year to get a copy of this movie or whatever. Now that a lot of these companies have the right to pull shit off your hard drive digitally, who's to say you don't buy a game and they start going? Because we already seen it with WWE 2K23, where they was like, yo bro, 2025 them servers getting cut off, and it's like 2020. Bitch, the game only been out a year. What you mean next year game servers getting shut off? I just bought the game a year ago. Now I gotta buy the next version of the game to play the online in a game that will otherwise work. That doesn't make sense now, does it? Exactly, that's the case. That's what's going on. That's what I think is gonna start happening if these companies have any say for it. They might say, hey, you could play this game for 1 year. After a year passes, we revoke your access on your account. Even if you got the disc, you still won't be allowed to play the game. Scary ass future. By physical. However, this raises the question, what makes these particular titles exempt? They probably forgot. Real shit, they probably forgot. Could they be part of a broader strategy to focus on fewer high perform? Man, ain't nobody ever heard of that shit. It's not that. One of the most striking aspects of what greedy bitch ass niggas approach to delisting these Cartoon Network's game has been their commitment to silence. Excuse me, yeah. They ain't gonna say shit because legally no lawyer would say, hey, go ahead and step out there and speak about this. No PR person or publicist would be stupid enough to go out there and say, yeah, in the best interest of my company, let me tell you why we took down these games that people love and took away people's access and ability to probably re-download it. The reasons behind the decision, offering an official explanation for the gaming community. This communication vacuum has led to rampant speculation. True. If niggas don't have clues as to why something's going on, they're gonna start making shit up. And whether you like what they make up or not, you just gotta take it on the hop because you had a chance to tell them that's not what it is, and you did it. Some believe that the company is consolidating resources and focusing on smaller, more profitable catalog of titles, while others entertain the notion that they may. No, it isn't. Them niggas is going broke and they trying to avoid going broke. That's the facts that we seen on Wax. The lack of transparency has only fueled. Bitch, you said the same thing. Historical context and future implications. Boom. The delisting trend has affected games spanning nearly a decade of digital content. Titles like oh my god, this person's just repeating themselves. The timing of the delisting is also significant in relation to Warner Brothers' broader business strategy, which includes shutting down the Cartoon Network website. That part I went in depth and showed you about. In this context, delisting can seem a part of a reshaped digital entertainment landscape. Basically, they're trying to funnel more people into HBO Max, even though HBO Max doesn't have the shit they say they have. The delisting phenomenon and its impact. The delisting of these Cartoon Network games underscores the fragility of digital ownership by physical. As more of our favorite content moves online, and now that I think about it, now it's becoming even more weird for games to release physically, even if they make a lot of money. For example, Wukong dropped day one, no physical release. Now, I understand. Well, actually, nigga, is about to come out of nowhere and say the reason why indie games nowadays prefer to post games purely digitally is because it's easier and it's like more reasonable to get access to digital storefronts than to go to a distributor, get your game printed out and put on a disc and sent out to customers, especially if it's a smaller game, like for example Balataro or what's that game I'm thinking of, or like a Brawlhalla or something like that. Even if whether it's live service or not, it's more difficult to go out and ask for that. I understand that, and I understand it's more not only difficult to ask, it's more difficult, like it's difficult to ask because financially you're not sure if that game will be able to sell enough to justify how much it costs to print. So for example, a game like Balataro is like $12, which because of Steam sales, most of the time you're not paying $12. Well, if you go to a factory, it may cost $12 to put the game on the disc. We're not talking about shipping it out to stores. We're not talking about stores paying to keep it stocked on the shelves. And this is a high commodity, highly wanted to be played game. We're not talking about this, how much it's going to cost to get it shipped to stores, how much shelf space is going to be worth, because when running a store, that's something that store owners take into consideration. How much money is it worth for me to put this on my shelf? We're not talking about that. We're not talking about the fact that it's not easy as, hey guys, I want to get my game put on a disc and sent out to stores. So you probably gotta have a publisher to even talk to these companies that print up the discs and stuff like that, and to get in contact with the distribution chain. So it's a lot more steps and a lot more resources and insider knowledge required than a couple clicks and you upload your shit to Steam. Steam says now everybody can play. You go couple clicks, now you upload your shit to Google Play, now everybody can play it. Something permanently and having temporary access becomes increasingly blurred. The shift has major implications for consumers, many of whom are under the impression that their digital purchase will grant them lifetime access to these games they love, which is something I realized in like the early Xbox 360 era, and I tell this story all the time. I had a friend who had parents that had bags, they had money. They had money. Ooh, they got some money. And they used to buy him games left and right on top of giving him allowance. So he'll buy stuff in the game. So while me and my friends is robbing banks to get money in Grand Theft Auto, this nigga buying shark card after shark card. And remember, Grand Theft Auto came out when I was in middle school. So we 14, 15, and his parents is giving him money for shark cards. So that nigga was bald. That nigga was bowling. Then on Grand Theft Auto, because I don't remember what the fuck happened, but on Grand Theft Auto, he got banned. His Xbox account got banned. No longer had access to it. Xbox hit the button, deleted his shit. Guess what happened to all of his games? Gone. Couldn't play none of them, couldn't access none of them. And I don't remember the exact number, whether it was hundreds, thousands, not millions, whether it was hundreds or thousands, but I remember that nigga had OD games. He definitely had over 100 games. Gone into the ether. Whether he played the game, whether he had 100 hours on the game, 2 hours, 5, ether, deleted, gone. Bye bye. See ya. Out of here. So when you buy these games digitally, you don't own them. Because like I said, if you buy it digitally and your account gets deleted, you forget the password to your account, it's out of here. How will consumers respond to the growing realization that their digital libraries are far less secure than they once thought? I hope the answer is stop buying digital, but you gotta remember, the average consumer is a fucking idiot. The delisting trend is likely to continue making waves, prompting further conversations about further digital media and its accessibility. And I am part of those conversations, and I am always a person that would love to keep them conversations continuing, because I think not enough people think about whether they own something or not. Because a lot of people, like, they look at it like, oh, it's only $60 and then it's on sale half the time, so if I lose my account, fuck it. If I care about the game and I'll buy it again, or I played it already and I don't give a fuck. I feel like not enough people are thinking about the fact that it's like, yo, they're stealing money from me. Like, they're literally stealing money from me. But something that won't steal money from me is the developers who made South of the Midnight selling me a game. But right here, as y'all probably seen, here's a new look at some of the combat in South of the Midnight. Now, I have seen some, not this particular clip of combat, but I have seen some of the combat from South of the Midnight from the trailer and whatnot when original trailers came out during the Xbox showcase and whatnot. But I believe this is some new gameplay. Yeah, it is some new shit. Oh, you can pull people towards you? I wonder how creative they're gonna really let you get in the combos. Because there's certain things about the game and the gameplay that I'm really not gonna be able to understand until I play it. Because like the combat doesn't look bad. Like in my personal opinion, I prefer faster combat. But I understand this is supposed to be more of an action RPG platformer hybrid cross type of game. And that this game's main focus is the story. Like this game, I can already tell y'all right now, is not gonna make a ton of money because it's, number one, it stars a black woman. Number two, this is more of like a gamer's game. It's looking like. This doesn't look like something the average casual person could pick up and go, and just play. I don't know. We'll see when it comes out. I hope it becomes a mainstream game. I hope it has an effect and a splash like a Wukong or something like that in terms of breaking into the mainstream, but I don't know. We'll see when we get there. But something that we also will see when we get there, but are having rumors, words, leaks of what to expect from Dying Light the Beast in 2025, and I'm here for it. No. Please note, anything not specifically contributed to a spoiler should be taken as my own speculation as a fan of the franchise. What the fuck? Oh, it is an actual game. Oh, I thought this was about to be just him saying, I guess. But no, it's actual quotes in here. Smegma described... I'm sorry, my brain just went to that. But I don't know how to pronounce that. Described 2025 as an important year for Techland, not least of which is because it will be celebrating 10 years of Dying Light as a franchise. Dying Light 1 released on January 27, 2015, so blah, blah, blah. I think the celebration will be the right moment to reveal more of our plans. It will be right to reveal the game then, because Dying Light don't have to get dropped in January. Y'all could drop that towards the later part of the year. Actually, no. Dying Light 2 was just straight bad publicity. So in terms of the Dying Light franchise, y'all basically 2 for 1, because the Dying Light 1 and the Dying Light 1 DLC, they're part of one game, but the DLC is so expansive and the story for it is so much larger. It feels like a whole different game, to the point to where it's like, I'll give y'all that, like some Shadow of the Erdtree type shit. I'll give y'all that. That shit was a legitimate expansion worth paying for. I mean, I got it for free. Shout out EGS, but it was legitimately worth paying for. That's how I feel about it. But other people may feel different. But y'all going for 2 for 1, and remember, we live in a society that's basically, what have you done for me lately? And the last shit you dropped, Where is it? Shit wasn't that good. Shit wasn't that good. I haven't played it, so I'm just going off of other people's words, but general consensus from what I heard, that shit wasn't good. So y'all on a thin fucking wire. And y'all don't have any other franchises that anybody knows of. Let me see. Techland. What else do they have? Games. A bunch of games we don't know. Oh yeah, I remember I looked at basically for the last 10 years all they've been making is Dying Light. So for the last 10 years you basically just made Dying Light and you dropped a Dead Island fucking definitive collection, but when was the first Dead Island? Yeah, I don't know what Hellraid is. Dead Island Riptide, the DLC was in 2013, 2011. So that franchise is over 10 years old and never got a new entry. So people, the general cultural zeitgeist or whatever the fuck you call it, has forgotten about that. All you've been making for the last 10 years is basically Dying Light. So you the fuck up making the Dying Light is like, Anyway, as he said, blah, blah, blah. Release is summer 2025. Between the anniversary celebration and release of Dying Light the Beast, fans can expect the typical marketing rollout of a game, complete with more trailer, blah, 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 blah. The story, I don't care. I'll find out when I get it. It's worth pointing out that Dying Light the Beast will launch with firearms, including new additions never seen before in the franchise. A flamethrower, don't care, and a grenade launcher, actually interesting, have been shown so far, and it'll be interesting to see what other firearms make the cut. Overall, while the jury will be out for a while, Dying Light the Beast has all the makings of not just an excellent franchise game, but an excellent zombie game, period. Dying Light the Beast may receive strong support. What comes after release is hardest to predict, true. And obviously, they're focused on the rollout, Dying Light 2, blah, blah. I simply do not see Techland stepping back from its consumer-friendly supportive development cycle. Dying Light the Beast is such a smaller scale. Ooh, it's a smaller scale game. Now, I don't know how big the map in Dying Light 2 is, but if the game truly, like they say, is smaller scale and they're stepping back and they're making a smaller scale map, smaller scale game, but they're more so hyper focusing on what they're doing and hyper focusing in on it in a way of we're making sure that even though we may not give you as much open world and freedom content, that we take our sleeve and polish it a little bit more, so the little bit that you do get is better, which is an approach I enjoy. Like I said, I'm a person, if a game's over 20 hours, get it the fuck out of here. I don't care. Dying Light the Beast is a small scale game and it may not receive 5 years of support itself, but I don't imagine Techland will release it in the summer and forget it. Instead, fans should keep making their voices heard after its release. Techland, according to this motherfucker, is certainly listening. Hey, look. We'll see. When we get there, we will see. Put it like that. But something we kind of don't have to worry about, well, we kind of should worry about, seeing, is PlayStation talking about they're going to continue focusing on live service games. Now, I haven't browsed or perused over this article, but this shit is short as fuck, so I'm gonna read the whole thing. Oh, actually, fuck that. It's a quote from PlayStation CEO Herman Hulst, said that the company still believes, despite recent hiccups like Concord. To be fair. Hold on. No. Because I need the music. To be fair, one thing I have always said about Concord is that Concord wasn't a bad game, and that number one, 90% of the reason why Concord died is because nobody knew the fucking game was coming out. The other 10%, the second reason, that's what I'm holding up to, the other 10% was random weird niggas online posting the number. Oh, like, only 600 people are playing this game. Go woke, go broke. Look at how ugly this game is. When people were hating on Concord, Concord was the first game in memory at all I can think of where everybody said, everybody's critique was, this game looks fucking ugly. When you motherfuckers came art scholars all of a sudden. When you niggas all of a sudden became art breaker downers. I'm forgetting the term right now, but you know what I mean. People who sit there and pick apart and critique art. Oh, when you niggas became art critics professionally. When you niggas became artists. Let me see the last piece of art you made. Let me see the last 3D model you model, bitch ass nigga. That's number one. And like, well, I mean, there is no that's number two in this situation, but you get what I mean. That game was sent out on a march on a suicide mission to die. Okay? So, you can call me a tinfoil hattist. You can call me whatever you want. You can say that game didn't have unique gameplay, didn't have unique gameplay draws, nobody wanted a hero shooter. 10 million players, according to them. According to them, across all platforms, 10 million players, Marvel Rivals. So don't give me that nobody wanted a hero shooter shit. Don't give me Concord didn't have things that were unique about it, because I can name multiple things about it that are unique, not only in the market for right now, but unique in the grand scheme of FPS games with features that I've never seen. Okay? So don't give me that shit. Don't give me that shit. Now let's go back to reading this quote. Let me play my regular background music. The game business is constantly changing due to various factors, including technological advances, new genres, and ways of playing. House said via auto translation. However, one thing that remains constant is people's desire for great entertainment experiences. That is a fact. Basically, what he's saying is we got to put the quality of the games first. I agree with that. Because if you make a good game, I don't give a fuck how great your marketing is. People ain't gonna play it. If you don't at least make a mediocre game, I'll say, because some gacha games got ass tier gameplay and niggas still play it. So if you don't at least have mediocre gameplay and something surrounding that mediocre gameplay that makes people feel like they're levitating when they're playing it, you're cooked, my nigga. So at least their focuses, allegedly, are in the right places. And attention to games continues to grow. That is also a fact. More and more people are getting into gaming, meaning more and more people have their attention divided. And there's certain games that once you release a game, other people are not going to want to play. So for example, Concord came out a month before this game. Now, if I'm being real and I had to choose between this game and Concord, I'm not gonna lie, I will go back and forth between this and Concord. But if you ask the average gamer, would you rather play Concord or what the fuck is Concord? There's your answer right there. What the fuck is Concord? That, in case you're not understanding, that's what the answer would be. What the fuck is Concord? So like another big part of what I keep saying about the fact that they also didn't market this game, they released this game at a terrible time where it was competing against Call of Duty. You ask niggas to play any game with shooting that isn't Call of Duty, niggas' first question is, does it play like Call of Duty? So to release this game next to Call of Duty was fucking crazy. And as more and more people are coming into the gaming space, what are they more likely to like? A game that all their friends play, or a game that I never heard of my damn life. And every time I look up media about this game, everybody's saying, oh, this game is terrible. Oh, this game is trash. Oh, this game is woke. Oh, this game is this insert bad thing. Oh, this game is that insert bad thing. You think I'm gonna go play that over a franchise that I don't even have to play games to know the name of and know that everybody plays? Exactly. Concord didn't stand a chance releasing when it did. However, that has also created competition, which I just mentioned. There's more and more increasing amounts of competition in the gaming space. And like many companies in the industry, we have had to make changes to our business to solidify a more sustainable operating base. Basically, we gotta stop churning out bullshit. Post continue by saying PlayStation will, quote, continue to focus on developing live service titles along with the story-driven single-player titles that our players want. That this is also a good thing. What they're saying is we're not essentially gonna go to our already successful live service games and proverbially spank the monkey until it gives us money and entertainment. We're gonna try different things. We're not gonna put all our eggs in one basket. We're gonna put 3 eggs in that basket, 2 eggs in that basket, 5 eggs in that basket, 1 egg in that basket all the way over there. And if it blows up, it blows up. Maybe it'll be a Helldivers. I don't know. We'll see. Again, that's a good thing. But words are just things that niggas flap their lips and vibrate air with. What are your actions? As far as why continued effort towards live service games, host pointed to Helldivers 2 success as a reason, which I just pointed out. That's why I said sometimes you got to put an egg in that basket way over there, because maybe something good will happen from it. The co-op title from Arrowhead Game Studios showed how a live service game can succeed in a modern era, and it's something that Sony and PlayStation are paying attention to. Yeah, because Helldivers, what other game on the market now or in the last 5 years can you name? So 5 is basically since 2019 up until like in 2 days, 2019, 2020. In the last 5 years, what major scale PvE, not PvP, PvE game can you name? Probably can't name one. Exactly my point. We are learning a lot as we establish the ability to develop high quality live service titles within Sony Interactive Entertainment, which is what SIE stands for in this context. Helldivers 2 attracted many players through continuous content provision, mostly on PC, and achieved results that support the potential of live service titles. Yeah, live service titles do have a lot of potential for money, but they cost a lot more up front. And they cost a lot more in the long run. It's way harder to make money off of a live service game than any other kind of game. Because with any type of game, whether it's live service or just release and we'll go make the next one, it takes a lot of money to make a game in this day and age. So less companies are less likely to spend money making a game that they're not sure is going to make the money back. And it's easier to drop a free-to-play game and just ask niggas to pay for everything. It's just a matter of making a game where people want to play it to the point to where they wouldn't mind paying for stuff. Also, another thing that apparently a PlayStation boss is saying is that they're open to reviving classic franchises. Ooh, Herman Hulst. So this is what I'm guessing, seeing that I've seen these 2 articles back to back, is 9 times out of 10 what happened is there was like a Sony financial call recently, and that's where these statements came out, because usually that's when big statements from big wigs in a company like this come out. Quote, the various IPs that we own are an important asset to PlayStation, and as a part of our efforts to strengthen our portfolio, we are continually looking at opportunities to leverage past IP as well as develop new franchise. That's good. They're saying we're not just going to rely on the past. We're going to take a couple gems out there, put them up on the front lines, and see what they do. I fuck with that. For the simple fact that there's a lot of games that are going 20 and 30 years. Like I just showed it to you earlier with Dead Island. The last new Dead Island game we got, and I think Riptide was DLC. So the last new Dead Island game we got, even if we count the DLC, came out in like 2013, bro. Like, let me look it up. Was Dead Island Riptide a DLC or an entire game? Dead Island Riptide is considered a full game, but many large-scale DLC as it directly continues the story block. So it's a new game. Dead Island Riptide is basically a standalone DLC where it takes its place immediately. So even if it is its own full game, shit came out in like 2013, bro. You know how old I was in 2013? I was 12 or 13. Depending on what part of the year, it really doesn't fucking matter. I was 12 or 13 in 2013. I'm 23, nigga. That was 10 years ago. Been 10 years since a new Dead Island dropped. So a lot of these studios have franchises or franchise that are even older than that haven't even had an inkling or a promise of a new entry, because back when they were released, the gaming industry was a bit different and it wasn't as profitable to like make the same game over and over, especially if you dropped the first game and people loved it and it reviewed well and nobody bought it. Like in this day and age, something like an Astrobot was common back then because more studios were taking chances. Nowadays, most studios is shaking their head like this whenever they hear take a chance or make a sequel. Take a chance on making something good or make a sequel on a piece of shit game. They'd rather make a sequel on a piece of shit game because at least the people who like that piece of shit game will go, I mean, they made a new entry, so let me buy it. Let me support it, so maybe something good will come out of it. Our goal is to publish games by the world's best creators, both inside and outside of PlayStation. And we have achieved many successes so far by working closely with external development studios. This is true. But, again, you can spank the proverbial monkey so many times before the monkey rubs his behind and be like, oh, that hurt, no more. Or the monkey collapses. Or the monkey gets tired of getting smacked on their bottom and they turn around and they Wolverine straight towards you, okay? So, that's cool and all. Try not to let them franchise die. And I know like it seems like I'm asking a lot, but capitalism 101. Not even capitalism, life 101. especially the lonely tooties that like to justify breaking up with government. They love to say this shit. If he won't do it, someone else will. Host also praised the performance of Team Asobi's Astrobot, which won Game of the Year at the Game Awards this month. According to the co-CEO, Astrobot sold 1.5 million copies in the first 9 weeks, with nearly 40% of those sales coming from players who were either purchasing a PlayStation game for the first time or the first time in 2 years. Which I love because, like I said, Astrobot winning is nothing but a good thing for the gaming industry as a whole. We don't need more Call of Duties. We get it. You run around in the online multiplayer, you go. You run around in the zombies, you go. Your gun pulsates and it goes. And you expect me to pay $15 for that? I gotta look at the damn stocks and attachments and figure out what's the best build for the best gun. Like, bro, we get it. We know what's gonna happen when we get a new Call of Duty. Okay? We don't know what's gonna happen when we get an Astrobot. Why? Because that's a new IP. Like, I don't really think some of y'all realize how long Call of Duty has been running. Actually, I could destroy this tab. How many Call of Duty games are there? $24. Call of Duty has 24 games in the franchise. And they just said mainline. So there might be other side stuff. But there are 24 Call of Duties. Let me read the name of all the Call of Duties back to back if they have the name. No, they doing too much. But there are 24 different Call of Duty games, okay? We've had enough Call of Duty, bro. We could take a 5-year break. If Black Ops 6 is the only Call of Duty we get in the next 5 years, niggas will be okay, bro. They're gonna keep playing Warzone any fucking way. Please give it a fucking break. Versus Astrobot, arguably, this is the first game, maybe the second. If you want to be super technical, the fourth, because there was like a game on PS4 and a VR game that featured Astro, but they're not connected to the Astrobot franchise, and they're early versions of the Astro design, so I kind of don't count them because that nigga looks way different. But either way, still, even if you argue that the last Astrobot game came out in 2020 with the release of the PS5, throw my hands in the air. I throw my hands in the air and I shrug my shoulders and I say, we had to wait 5 years for a sequel to a banger. That doesn't sound bad to me. There's plenty of other games to play. Every day a new game is releasing, whether it's an indie game or a AAA game. Every day a new game is releasing, bro. Every day. Today, oh, you hear that? A new game just released. Okay? I'm not starving for games to play. None of us are. If you only want to play Call of Duty, that's cool. But when I say gamers, and I'm talking about gaming enthusiasts, shut the fuck up. I'm not talking to you. We are thrilled that it has been so well received by the gaming community with a Metacritic score of very fucking high and a wide range of players who are truly enjoying the game. Meaning you can't argue the reviews were paid for because there are people who genuinely enjoy this game. It has also contributed significantly to the expansion of the community. That's true, because I've seen a lot of clips of Astrobot, especially this month, after that shit won Game of the Year, of people, like especially streamers and stuff like that, either talking about or showing clips of them playing a game with their 10-year-old, their 8-year-old, their 9-year-old, their 6-year-old, their 14-year-old, whatever. Because this is a game that both mommy and daddy can enjoy, as well as the kiddies. So, keep hating because it's not Call of Duty or a game that doesn't even fucking run properly, with a higher percentage of younger players and families purchasing the game compared to other titles. Never read this quote, didn't even need this part. Like I said, I've seen clips and stuff like that. Nigga, I went to my mom. Whenever I go to visit my mom, guess what game we pop in? It's various games, but guess what one of them are? Astrobot and Astro's Playroom. So, yeah, Sony, keep on a good track. Y'all saying the right things, but y'all doing the right thing. And one thing, cut this shit off. So yeah, one thing I wanted to keep y'all up on, because I always like to make sure that I keep y'all in mind first. Because one thing I always say is, what I like to do is arm you niggas with knowledge, and then y'all move forward with it. So now, knowing that Apple is one of the greediest fucking companies on the planet, you may see something where they're saying that this weekend Apple TV is free, and it may blow your mind, make you go, that's nuts! But how do they benefit from this? Well, what they want you to do, 9 times out of 10, they're probably just making a commercial for their fucking free trial. What they want you to do is they want you to see their commercial for their free trial, go, oh cool. They want you to sign up, because let's not forget that case where dude had an allergic react. For y'all who don't remember, there was a case where dude went to Disneyland and he told the clerk, I'm not remembering the story exactly, so I'm paraphrasing for sake of understanding. Basically, he went to the store. They had a super chocolate banana fudge sundae with nuts on it, and he said, I want the super chocolate fudge, but leave the peanuts off of it. I'm allergic. Leave the peanuts off of it because I am allergic. They made it nice and abundantly clear that the nigga was allergic to peanuts. Or like in this example, I'm using peanuts, but I don't remember in the actual case what it was. But made it clear. And Disney dug up some information. They snick it like a little puppy, dug up through the dirt and found out he signed up for a Disney Plus membership. And that because of an agreement he signed on, not membership, trial, because of the agreement he agreed to in that Disney Plus free trial, his family could not sue in court for the fact that he died on their fault, and they can only settle to arbitration out of court with the arbiter that Disney picked. That's probably gonna be like, these niggas paying me, I don't give them shit. So when it comes to how funky these companies are, I'm not saying something like that exactly is going to happen to you, but I'm saying when they do shit like this, bro, don't trust it. Say the 7 C's. Say the 7 C's. Do I gotta play a song? My fingers are over and up. I gotta play the song. Say the 7 C's. It's not worth it. Not worth it. None of these streaming services are worth it. Netflix used to be worth it back in the day when they had everything and they had a virtual monopoly over the market, when whatever you wanted to watch was basically on Netflix. Then every once in a while they pop out with a Stranger Things, The Orange is the New Black. But now Netflix ain't got shit. HBO Max ain't got shit. They taking their popular stuff and they delisting it, especially if it's a cartoon. Super delisting it. Only kids watching. Nobody gives a fuck. delisting it. What's another one? I said Netflix lost its value because everybody wanted their content back. Goddamn Max. Who the fuck is watching Paramount Plus? None of you niggas is fiending for SpongeBob that hard. And if you are, that was perfect. That was perfectly timed. You get my point. Stop paying these fucking companies to abuse you and dog shit you. But now that we're done talking about that, let's talk about. I should have put that section last, but fuck it, we ball. Why do people, including Netflix, keep missing the point of Squid Game? Now, that is a question that I personally have been asking as well. Because one thing I've been